We're going in with a plan this time. We're not getting stuck in another loop, just acting on instinct. We're stuck in a big enough loop as it is.
Instinct was keeping us alive.
Until it wasn't.
So what are we supposed to do?
Great, so you've been here before. That doesn't bode well.
You're not supposed to have been here before. This is supposed to be one and done.
So you know more than you're letting on.
Yeah, what he said.
Of course I do, but believe me, it's in your best interests.
The more you know about the princess, the more difficult your task will be.
And why is that?
Having me explain why would defeat the whole purpose. There are simply some things I'm not allowed to tell you. It's a hard rule.
And whose rule is it? Who's telling you to boss us around? We've died twice already, and if you want us to stay alive this time, it's in your best interests to give us an edge.
It's my rule, and this conversation is over.
Okay, es ist wieder der Dan, ne, damit ihr das wisst. Was es schneit. Auch 2 Grad draußen. Weird. Finally proceed to the cabin.
You make your way down to the cabin. Your fated confrontation awaits. You know what to do.
So, we need a plan. We've been over the plan. Goad her out of the shadows. Make her show herself.
And what if she doesn't want to be seen?
We'll figure out a way to make it happen.
And if that doesn't make her any easier to fight?
It will. It's always easier to fight what you can see, no matter how big or toothy she might be. She spent as much time as she could in the shadows, so we're gonna draw her out.
But she's fast, and she's clever.
We're clever too, so this time we're not gonna let her cut off our escape. We're gonna lead her to the stairs ourselves. It'll be a lot easier to deal with her once we can actually see what she is.
But you already know what she is. She's a princess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Princess we couldn't see, and one that had big sharp teeth too. How about you stick to describing things and we'll stick to doing our job?
Sharp teeth. The interior is dark and overgrown. Vines and brush obscure so much of the place that, had you not seen the exterior, you might not have noticed this was a cabin at all. The only furniture of note, if you could call it that, is a knotted stump, a pristine blade embedded in its exposed rings. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right.
If there's a way forward, that mirror is blocking it off.
What are you talking about? There is no mirror. It's just the stump and a narrow tunnel that leads to the basement. He isn't tricking us. Can you feel the wind? It's telling us there's a hole in that wall. Our eyes deceive us.
Then either way, we need to investigate. Might as well get started.
Take the blade.
Take the steel claw. You pull the blade from the stump, gripping it tight. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Odds are we'll need it. Thanks for not putting us in a bad spot.
Approach the mirror.
You step forward, approaching the small hole that leads to the basement, hesitating before you enter the princess's lair.
Haven't you been paying attention? We're not hesitating. This supposed hole is blocked by that old mirror.
That mirror isn't part of this place. It's seeped through from somewhere else. It, if there even is an it, is a hallucination. Like you said, you've been here twice before. Your mind was bound to start playing tricks on you eventually. It's so grimy. Maybe we can wipe it clean and finally get a look at ourselves. You reach forward and wave your hand over the open hole leading to the basement.
Das ist doch gar nichts. Ach, da unten ist das Loch. Oh mein Gott.
See? Nothing. Tricks of the eye. No one sense can be trusted on its own. You step forward into the darkness. If there were once stairs leading into the basement, there is nothing left to attest to their existence now. There is only a long tunnel of packed earth, growing more narrow as you descend. It smells of mold and decay. The damp walls leave streaks of dirt along your body as you're forced to hunch, then finally squat down on all fours in order to continue. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. As you crawl forward on
Sagt er
hands
jedes
and
Mal.
knees, you're met only with the sounds of ambient earth. No voice slinks confidently up the stairs. No entity threatens violence or pleads for safety. Stay quiet. Don't give her a sound.
Say nothing and silently proceed down the stairs.
You say
Ich glaube,
nothing, maintaining the
springt einfach
silence
runter,
as you
ne?
carefully make your way down into the basement. The basement is dark and cavernous, a gaping maw threatening to swallow you whole. There is no light here, save for what little starlight has managed to filter down the tunnel. And though you can't see the vastness of the space, you can feel it. You're exposed.
Stay on your toes. We take a step into the shadows, and as soon as she moves, we jump back, make her follow. From there, we trap her in the tunnel, draw her out of the cabin, whatever it takes to get her out of her element. Then we're safe.
Step into the shadows, ready to fight and lure. Komm. Ich speichere hier.
You step into the shadows and are enveloped in total darkness. Your heart pounds in your chest, ears pricked, eyes wide despite the inky blackness, waiting for any sign of movement. There, she's about to strike.
We're screwed. I know. This wasn't part of the plan. We were supposed to come down here prepared. Oh, what's the use? You just barely make out the shape of teeth and eyes as the princess emerges, enormous maw gaping, ready to swallow you whole.
And
But he doesn't respond. Eyes glance at you from the untextured threads of a world unraveled. Am I free? They are. Okay.
she's gone. Where did she... And there's that mirror again.
Komm, ich lade nochmal. Dann
You
probiere ich
step
mal
into the
zu
shadows
lure
and
her
are
out.
enveloped in total darkness. Your heart...
That's right. Keep steady. Don't let your nerves get the better of you.
There, she's about to strike. With the near silence of a determined predator, the princess erupts from the shadows. But you've already started your swift escape.
That's stage one. Now stay focused.
You dive into the tunnel and begin scrambling up towards the cabin. You hear her behind you, claws raking at the dirt, chains rattling, breaths hot and heavy with the effort of the ascent. But the sounds are coming slower now, the breaths pained and stuttering. You no longer sense frantic motion behind you in the tunnel. You risk a glance. She is a broad and sickly creature, her withered and emaciated flesh clinging to bones too large to fit in the narrow space. She managed to squirm her way into the tunnel in pursuit, but now she's stuck, incapable of either moving towards you or returning to the open darkness of the basement below.
So that's what she's become. She wasn't like this when we started. Was she? No, she wasn't.
Looking at her makes me feel sad.
Yeah, now that we can see her, she doesn't feel like much of a threat at all.
Her eyes look up at yours, wide, pleading. Come back, you can imagine them saying. Don't leave me here. But you shouldn't listen to the sad eyes of a vanquished enemy. She wants nothing more than to change places with you.
If you want us to ignore her, then why would you tell us any of that wide, pleasing eyes begging for mercy business to begin with? All it does is make us feel conflicted.
I'm merely describing things as they are. It's not my fault that her eyes had something to say, even if that something was a ploy, which, if I might stress, I pointed out to you.
What should we do about her anyway? Can she still end the world like this?
She hurts. We should help.
We did bring the blade. Maybe we should use it.
Splendid idea. You have a job to finish, and this is the perfect opportunity to finish it.
Or maybe we should try and talk to her.
That's a terrible idea. Your first one was better.
Komm, ich überspeichere das. Let's talk.
You cautiously make your way closer to the princess, her eyes avoiding yours with the silent resignation of a defeated predator.
Oh, ja, okay. And then it's all gone. You turn to see that something has taken.
She's gone. And there's that.
Approach
I'm
the
begging you,
mirror.
don't.
Never scared you
It's
before.
different now. It feels. That thing reeks of death.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. That thing reeks.
You're right.
Oh. Okay, sie sagen einfach nochmal dasselbe. Silence as you reach forward. It's you. Komm, dann rede ich jetzt nochmal mit Dings.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
What happens now?
Nothing. There is no bring me.
Bring me more vessels. How much will I forget? Make me
She
forget.
asks that you won't.
You won't. Bring the Dan to her. Okay.
You're on.
Gut. Das wird ist einfach jetzt eine kurze Folge, würde ich mal sagen. No? Und dann mache ich jetzt, ich glaube, ich mache jetzt die Dings nochmal. The Damsel, weil ich habe beim letzten Mal irgendwas richtig verkackt. Und ich weiß ungefähr, was ich da tun muss. Also mache ich die Sachen. Okay, das ist nochmal so ein Nachtrag für The Dan. Also schneide ich jetzt noch mit dazu. Es gibt ein Achievement, das ich jetzt nicht bekommen kann, weil ich die falsche Stimme habe. Das ist natürlich immer ganz gut. Und zwar, das habe ich glaube ich noch nicht gemacht. Wait for her to strike and hit
This
her
isn't going
back.
to work. We're in her domain. We just.
If we keep dodging her forever, we're going to get tired. We're going to slip up. We have to take a risk.
As the princess lunges from the shadows once more, you tighten her grip on the blade and lash out. It strikes, cutting deep, and the princess loses her focus, crying out in pained surprise as she crashes into you. You're sent sprawling and can already feel the massive bruise blossoming on your ribs as she scrambles back into the darkness.
Ha! Look at that! We wounded her.
And she wounded us. Bad trade.
That hurt. Are you just the cornered animal you seem to be? Or could you be a rival?
She rears back, then leaps at you, more forceful, more ferocious, more serious. The scuffle is brief, and though you inflict a few deep wounds, you find yourself quickly overwhelmed by her savagery. You collapse to the floor. She wastes no time before pouncing on you in a flurry of claws and blood, your nerves barely able to keep up with the onslaught. By the end, you're lying in a nest of your own intestines, spine severed, blood rapidly draining out onto the jungle floor. The princess, drenched in both her blood and yours, idly prods your body.
No, that's it then. Cornered animal it was. Do better next time. I still need to devour you. And it doesn't count if you're dead.
We're not dead, But you don't have time to protest her premature observation of your death, because everything goes dark, and you die.
So, jetzt muss ich den Stubborn bekommen. The Dan.
You're on a path.
Yeah, we are. And this time we're not gonna run until we die. We're taking her head on and we're winning.
You felt her. She didn't have a soft underbelly. She didn't have blind spots. What could we have done that would have saved us from her hunger?
When someone tries to make you dead, you have to hit them back. You have to show them your authority. There's nothing worse than a bully that thinks they own you.
Great. So you've been here before. That doesn't bode well. You're not supposed to have been here before. This is supposed to be one and done.
Oh, shut up. It bodes fine. You're the reason we're stuck in this shit situation. Now I have to do the hard work of dragging us out.
And how do you intend to do that?
We're going to fight her, and we're going to win. There's a reason she slinks around in the shadows.
Well, no complaints here. Now hold on. We're not just gonna let the fact that he knows things about this whole Lupin situation go, are we?
He's not important. He can have his secrets for all I care. She's killed us twice now, and that's enough of a reason for us to want her dead.
Okay, oh, ich frag mal, what's the plan?
Like I said, we're going to fight
Fight
her.
her!
But we're so small.
We don't actually know how big she is. We just know she wants us to think she's big. And if she's going to treat us like prey again, then she is sorely underestimating us. One good wallop, that's all we need to put her on the defensive.
Okay, kindly proceed to the cabin.
You make your way down to the cabin. Your fated confrontation awaits. You know what to do.
We've already been over the plan.
I'm not sure that use violence counts as a plan.
It's a better plan than you had last time.
I don't like this, but I'll try to keep us breathing. The interior is the only furniture.
Komm, das
of note. Is no one gonna
überspringe ich jetzt
mention the
mal.
mirror? What are you talking about? He isn't tricking us.
Approach, take the
Yes,
blade,
Take the steel.
You good.
approach the mirror,
That mirror, it.
smash it.
You bring your fist crashing down into the open hole leading to the basement, throwing yourself off balance and tumbling headlong into the... If there were once stairs leading, it smells of mold and decay. The damp walls leave streaks of dirt along as you crawl forward on hands and knees. Stay quiet.
Say nothing in silence.
You say nothing, maintaining the silence as you carefully make your way down into the basement. The basement is dark and cavernous, a gaping maw threatening to swallow you whole. There is no light here, save for what little starlight has managed to filter down the tunnel. And though you can't see the vastness of the space, you can feel it. You're exposed.
It doesn't matter if we can't see down here. We know where she is.
Step in, oh. Ich speichere jetzt nochmal auf der 2. Wir speichern das hier. Step into the shadows, ready to
You
fight.
step into the shadows and are enveloped in total darkness. Your heart pounds in your chest, ears pricked, eyes wide despite the inky blackness, waiting for any sign of movement. There, she's about to strike. With the near silence of a determined predator, the princess erupts from the shadows. Your quick to react, swinging your blade, its tip intercepting her before she can draw first blood. She recoils, stunned for a brief moment.
See? I told you. We needed to assert our might. We needed to prove to her that she can bleed too. She'll doubt her every move now.
But you don't have long before she lunges again, re-engaging with even more ferocity than before. But that voice in your head wasn't wrong. Within that ferocity, there is also hesitation. Not much, but enough. Not a word is spoken between you and the princess as you exchange blows in the dark. The glint of bloody claws and fangs, the flash of wet steel. In the pit, all of your senses are heightened, each injury stinging like a chorus of insects, each small shift in your favor a major victory that swells your heart. All reaches a climax. And
It's over. It's over. Ja gut, dann habe ich das andere auch. Dann haben wir jetzt gefightet. Also es ist am besten, glaube ich mal, wenn man den Stubborn hat, dann kann man sich gleich beide holen. Also man kann dann wegrennen und hier, weil der Skeptik, der ist da, glaube ich mal, nicht so gut drin.